this week ahead of the grand?
Oh yeah, there's been a couple of, I suppose, interruptions with a couple of injuries and whatever. So, but like I say, we sort of knew about them early, and hopefully pick the right guys to to put in for this week.
Coming off back-to-back losses, what's the mental preparation like in the build-up?
Just to get ready for this week. At the end of the day, those two games are gone. We weren't overly happy with how we performed, but probably learn a couple of things from them, and like I say, have a look at that, and then just put it behind us and get on with this week.
I guess it's a new challenge for you. Like, it's very rare. I can't remember a time when the Storm have come into the finals on the back of that kind of score.
I wouldn't have a clue actually. I can't remember that last week, let alone last year or 2 years ago. But like I say, it's not the ideal way to come in, but it is what it is. So like I say, we just had to get on with this week.
The place.
It looks like the Bulldogs are maybe going to make a bit of change in their spine and Toby Sexton in. Has that changed much too for you?
Or? It hasn't. We've just been more concerned about us, with a couple of injuries and suspension. We've had to make a couple of changes ourselves, so we just wanted to get the new guys in the team settled in and confident about what they need to do and knowing what they need to do. So that's been the important thing for us.
So you got the kicking contraption out there. Is that in preparation for Birdo bombs, and how do you contain his kicking game?
Oh, you don't really. You just got to catch them. So at the end of the day, we ain't going to be able to stop him kicking them. So unfortunately, they don't turn the 10 metres into 2 metres in the semi-final. So we're not going to be able to get at. Like I say, he'll put them up. So again, it's just up to our back three to catch them hopefully.
Craig, Xavier's been a massive figure in your attack for a long time with the high ball. Usually Jerome's the one putting it up. How are the other guys? How's Jonah? How's Wishy at putting up the high ball for him?
Oh well, again, that's part of their roles when they're whether they're playing in NRL or whether they're playing up in Queensland Cup or New South Wales Cup. So it doesn't really change. The kick's a kick. So at the end of the day, they've had plenty of practice throughout the year wherever they've been playing. So hopefully, they can put it on the spot on tomorrow night. Tomorrow night. Yeah.
A few injuries to their outside, to their backs, Bronson Cherry and Marcelo Montoya. Is that an area you think you can exploit?
Again, we just just make sure that we play to our strengths. As has been pointed out here this morning, our form coming in hasn't been great. So it's no use worrying about the opposition before we get our stuff right. So that's what we've been concentrating on.
Would you thinking with Wishy that he has more big game experience and like starting him?
Yeah. He's played more games, and and he has played a fair bit in the halves this year with Munn. With playing Origin, and usually with some injuries, and Munn had some injuries there earlier as well. So he's played plenty of it. So like I say, Jonah's always done a good job when he's come in there. So we think we'd certainly like to have Yuzi there and Paps there, but that's not the case. So we just need to go for the next best.
Jack said on his podcast that
Say again.
Yuzi said on his podcast he could be back in like 2 to 3 weeks.
I'm not worried about 2 or 3 weeks. Just worried about tomorrow night. So he could be. I don't know, but you'd probably better ask the doctors more so than me.
Jack Howarth is in the extended squad. Is he a chance of returning tomorrow? We've seen.
Yeah, he might be. Like I say, we've just changed a couple of little things around, like earlier in the week, just to see what we think is going to work best, and hopefully we'll just fine tune that today.
Given the depth of the competition this year, is it more important than ever to get this win at home and then bank, your next match at home? I know you don't like to look ahead, but there is obviously, there's some pretty good teams in, the bottom half of the finals.
With all due respect, I think every year, this time of year, there's all the good teams in the semi-finals, and it's always nice to play at home. There's no hiding from that fact, and I'd be lying if I said that's not the case. So we're fortunate we're playing home this weekend, and hopefully we can make the best of it.
Are you feeling a bit more supported with no AFL here this
Sorry,
Are
again?
you feeling a bit more supported with no AFL here this weekend? The crowd will get...
Oh, yeah, I really haven't sort of thought about that too much. Yeah, like I say, it just is what it is. We know where we are in the pecking list down here, so I didn't even know that actually, but yeah.
Is that exciting though, Craig? I mean, back down Amy Park, standalone game here in Melbourne. How exciting is that opportunity to run out at Amy Park?
Oh yeah, like I say, every team would rather play at home than play away, you know. So at the end of the day, it's whether there's any AFL games on, or or soccer games on, or whatever it is, you know. At the end of the day, you know, we're playing home tomorrow night, and that's fact. And hopefully we can take advantage of that. Yeah.
How big is that advantage? I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you measure that. You don't have to travel, you don't have to go to the airport and wait, you don't have to wait for the bus. You know, so at the end of the day, it certainly is an advantage not have to travel. But how much, I'm not quite sure how you measure that. But like I say, it's still not. You know, that's not going to win us the game. You know, we're going to have to win the game if we win the game. You know, so that's up to us. It doesn't matter. You know, what field we're on. You know, they're all 100 metres long and 70 metres wide, and we've all got goalposts at each end. So that doesn't change much.
Harry Grant comes back into the side for the suspension. How important is it to have his presence back?
Oh yeah, again, you know, I thought Brian done a good job, you know, and Wish done a good job off the bench as well, you know, in that time. But you know, Harry's a state of origin player, Australian player, so and he's our captain. So I think you could sort of realise how important he is to the team, and you know, he'll be a welcome addition, you know, back in this week.
Cameron must have said that there might have been a bit of complacency, like there wasn't really much to play for in the last two games, but have you kind of had noticed a shift in mindset, intensity? Obviously, like you like to call this a new season. Like,
yeah, I don't. You know, I don't really like going into any sort of games. You know, if your team's being complacent. You know, like this is a tough competition. Doesn't matter who you're playing. So if you go in complacent, you know, you're going to be behind the eight ball straight away. So I wouldn't like to think that, but you might be right.
Does the sort of doubt from other the media and speculation the Storm can't win without its stars, without Jerome Hughes, does that motivate the playing group?
I'm not quite sure, but we'll find out about that tomorrow night. You know, like the way we look at it, it gives a couple of guys a real good opportunity. You know, to come in and play an NRL game. You know, at the competition at the end of the year, it only goes for 4 weeks, so those guys get a real good opportunity. So like to see them rugby with both hands.
Craig, are the guys enjoying that high ball machine a little too much? Because we've heard them carrying on the whole time this press has been going.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like a new toy. So it's not a new toy, but we haven't pulled it out too much this year. So it's always something a bit different, gets them excited. So sometimes you wonder what does make them excited. But anyway, it's hopefully that's a good thing for today.